Do you know, in my opinion, the best way to draw inspiration is via observing nature and immersing ourselves in nature and learning from it. That's what I want to talk about today, and I've got two not stories, but two kind of examples of how I've drawn inspiration from nature in the last few days, because it teaches us. Nature's story is intertwined and embedded within our story. It instructs us, it inspires us, it teaches us, if we're just willing to experience it, to observe it, to immerse ourselves in it. And as I've said many times before, I can't imagine a life whereby I don't get to do this every day. So what are the two stories? Well, firstly, this is a time of year where the seasons are changing, the landscapes are changing, and where nature is going to sleep, in the process of going to sleep for a few months. We see some beautiful colours, which teaches us actually that death not necessarily be a negative thing, because when leaves, you can see these blackberry bushes here behind me. You might not be able to see the colours, but in the process of leaves dying on a tree, they look absolutely beautiful. And the change in seasons, nature is forever just in this process of change, where things are naturally in alignment, but always, whether in the spring, summer, autumn or winter, always looking absolutely gorgeous in different ways depending on the season. So the changing seasons for me represent the rise and fall of human societies throughout history. The spring and summer of freedom, and the autumn and winter of a descent into tyranny and totalitarianism. That is the story of human civilizations, and we can go into the psychological reasons, the philosophical reasons why human societies can never sustain freedom for a decent period of time before they descend back into oppression and control. So where are we right now? Well, right now we're obviously in October, at a time of a transition from summer to winter, a season that we call autumn. But metaphorically, where are we right now? I'd say we're in the absolute dead of winter. We're at the beginning of February, but the green shoots of recovery are there for us to see. And that would usually be the first snowdrops and crocuses. That's what nature teaches us. We can correlate our own experience in our lives with these changing seasons, and whether they're representing new life, whether they're representing a slow death, whatever it may be. So that's where I think we are, in the dead of winter. Who knows how long this winter's going to go on for, but crucially, those snowdrops and those crocuses, when they appear, survive the absolute harshest of conditions. In fact, they thrive. And another example, grew some sunflowers this year. Some of them reached about 10, 11 foot tall, magnificent. Just a blaze of colour in the garden. And on Saturday, the biggest sunflower had died, and I cut the stem and took the seeds out of the head of the sunflower. I was mesmerised and captivated by how the seeds are arranged within the head of the sunflower, just perfectly set in place in a beautiful pattern. So I scraped the seeds out and laid them on a tea towel to dry, and now they're in a jar. Probably about 1,000 seeds, maybe more, just off one sunflower. Now what does that teach us? Well, for me, the inspiration I've drawn from that is that sunflower was very alluring and beautiful and captivating when it was living, and in its death it's left a legacy. That legacy now in the form of the seeds. What can I do with those seeds? I can eat them, I can store them for next year, or I can use them to feed the birds during the winter. And we'll probably do all three, me and Sarah, and we've got other sunflowers to harvest the seeds from as well. So what is the lesson there? Well, the lesson is that sunflower has left a legacy. That's instructing us to also leave a legacy. A well-lived life for me is not just what we're contributing to this world while we're here, but is to realise that we should leave a legacy as well, something for future generations to enjoy. What is our legacy going to be? How are we going to ensure that we leave that positive legacy? It reminds me of that quote. I'm not going to remember to the exact wording, but it's something about a healthy society is one whereby somebody plants the seed of an oak tree and they'll never be able to sit under the shade of that oak tree, which is obviously saying that, you know, a healthy society is one whereby you plan for future generations to be able to enjoy freedom and abundance. And that's what we should do, and that's what we need to remember to do. So that's what the sunflowers taught me, and that's what nature has taught me. I mean, again, we can see this tree here. Don't know whether you can see it, I'm rubbish at doing this, but it's behind me there, that tree that you probably can't see. And for some reason, I can't flip the camera around, it won't work. Anyway, berries on that tree. I think it might have been a rowan tree. I'm trying to educate myself and improve my knowledge all the time. But again, that's the legacy of that tree through the winter. You know, the berries for the birds to eat. So yeah, if we're seeking inspiration, let's just remember, attune ourselves with nature. Our stories, we are nature. You know, our stories are intertwined. And every single day I learn from nature. It's just effortless. And yeah, we just need to remember that. I hope you enjoyed this, and you let me know what you think about those two analogies that I've drawn there. And I hope this has been of some use for you, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.